Hi, I'm Maddie and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm back with a new video today. Today we're going to be talking about the movie She's All That, which is a movie from 1999 starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel Leigh Cook. So I recently rewatched this movie because the DVD was recommended to me on Amazon. I was obsessed with this movie when I was younger and I had to rewatch it. Surprisingly, what makes this movie so special to me is not the fact that almost the entire cast of the live-action Scooby-Doo appears in it. That is not an exaggeration. But this was the first movie I saw with the bet trope. The bet trope is when in a movie, typically starring teenagers, there's a bet presented for someone to court or date someone else in order to get money or advance their reputation in some way. Usually what ends up happening is the bettor ends up falling for the bet-e for real, and everything goes great until the bet-e finds out how their relationship really started. Does this sound familiar? It should, because it's the plot of at least 3 different movies from the year 1999. I don't know why that year specifically was so popular for the bet trope, but apparently it was. Now, to get into specifics, in this movie, Freddie Prinze Jr. plays the dashing Zach Seiler, the popular and athletic student body president. Zach gets bet by his friend Dean to get Rachel Leigh Cook's character, the awkward art freak, Lainey Boggs, to win prom queen over Zach's uber-popular ex-girlfriend, Taylor Vaughn. Right away, the movie starts off with Lainey almost spitting in her brother Simon's drink.
I got a big loogie and I spit right in your juice.
I don't know why they chose to start off the movie like this, but in a way, I feel like they want the audience to be disgusted by her right off the bat, so we feel better about her getting a makeover. But honestly, it only made me respect her more, so that was kind of a misfire. Right away, her brother looks very familiar to me, and I thought it was because he looks like someone I went to high school with, which he does. But it's also because he's played by Kieran Culkin, who is Macaulay Culkin's younger brother. This is only the first example of the star-studded cast that is ahead, and we will continue to meet. Zach's introduction right away, they want you to know he's cool. He's walking into that California high school without a book bag, because who needs books? And he marches right up to his framed picture on the school wall and just says, hey. Then he walks down the hallway and just gets greeted by everyone because he's popular. In the next scene, he does have a book bag on. So what I imagine is he walks into school, right, every day, puts his book bag into his locker, then walks over to the framed picture of himself, checks himself out, walks down the hallway of admirers, goes back to his locker, grabs his book bag, and then meets up with his friends. Lainey wears a dirty apron to school every day for the singular art class she attends because it contributes to her art freak image, I assume. Zach's girlfriend at this point, Taylor Vaughn, gets back from spring break and immediately dumps him. They sit down and she tells him what happened on spring break. Newsflash, she cheated on him. Now, real talk, I actually really appreciate this scene. They shot it so it looks like Zach and Taylor are inside the flashback, which is really good cinematography in my opinion, and it just adds to the campiness of the film. Anyway, Taylor dumped Zach for Shaggy. Matthew Lillard, who played Shaggy in the live-action Scooby-Doo opposite Freddie Prinze Jr.'s Fred, plays Brock Hudson, who is a reality star who Taylor met and started dating over spring break. This is the only time we see someone pick Shaggy over Fred. Before we have time to fully process that, they show us that Usher is in this movie. He does the announcements at their school, and his character doesn't contribute anything to the plot except make comments about the lives of the other people in the movie, and I respect it. We also never see him outside of the little announcement room he's in, so that's cool. Zach meets up with his boys, Dean and Preston, and his book bag has disappeared again at this point. They talk about boobs for about 3 minutes straight. By the way, Dean is played by Paul Walker, and Preston looked very familiar to me, so I looked him up and I realized I knew him as Sam the Onion Man from Holes, which is cool. This is the scene where they make the bet because Zach is doing that cocky guy thing where he's like, I can make any girl in this school prom queen, you know, typical guy stuff. And Dean's like, wanna bet? You know. Dean is gonna pick the bet-e, and he sees Lainey picking up stuff like this, and he picks her because who picks things up like that, Lainey? Please. Honestly, Lainey is super relatable though, because when Zach speaks to her for the first time, she just straight up doesn't make eye contact with him.
That's not your name. That's not his name.
Oh.
I was very awkward in high school, and I also never made eye contact with anyone who talked to me. So I relate to this. I know people might say it's unrealistic that Zach got into Dartmouth, Yale, and Harvard, but later in the movie he actually says he has the 4th highest GPA in their class, That combined with him being a star athlete, being a Dartmouth legacy, as he mentioned, and student body president probably really increased his chances, and I think it's pretty believable. What is unrealistic is the amount of exclamation points in this acceptance letter. Why? Zach visits Lainey at work and ends up being invited into an art show by Lainey's best friend Jessie. And they also add in this random subplot where Lainey beat up Jessie in like 3rd grade, and I guess that's like how they met?
Look, I kicked your ass in 3rd grade. I'll do it again.
Okay, one, I was sick that day.
Which seems kind of out of character for Lainey, but okay. Also, this whole scene was a setup for this joke.
Supersize my balls.
Yeah. I really love this art show scene because it so clearly is meant to make Zach uncomfortable, and it absolutely does. And then he gets on the stage and his first thought is hacky sack. So he gives a hacky sack performance. Hi, I'm in editing, and I just realized that this scene was so important to the plot of the movie that they had to hire a hacky sack stunt double. When here I am just thinking Freddie Prinze Jr. is baller at hacky sack. The more you know. You can't make this up. Zach tries flirting with Lainey after the show. It fails really hard, and the way she reacts is just, again, so relatable.
Oh, please.
What?
Your eyes are really beautiful. You really broke out the big guns with that one, didn't you?
Like mood. Presumably the next day, but I'm not really sure because it's hard to keep up with the timeline of this movie because I don't understand. Zach shows up at Lainey's house for a beach day, and he's driving a yellow Hummer because of course he drives a yellow Hummer. Lainey is wearing denim again because it's the last year of the 90s and she's got it while she can. I mean, it's right when they get to the beach, Zach's friends show up, and Dean immediately starts being a jerk and acting obnoxiously. At one point, Lainey takes off her big overalls and you could see her in a bathing suit. And Dean says, OMG, she looks normal now.
Hey now, check out the Bobos on Superfood. You know, Zach, from up here, she almost looks normal.
Which just does not sit right with me. But Preston honestly redeems the whole scene when he stands up for Lainey.
So what about you, Lainey?
No, I don't think so.
Is your name Lainey?
Then there's a volleyball montage, because why not? And Preston invites Lainey to his party. Lainey says she has to clean her house in response, which as an antisocial person, that is definitely an excuse I've used before, so props to Lainey. Zach shows up to her house anyway because this guy can't take no for an answer, and he has the JV soccer team clean her house while her dad watches Jeopardy. Someone on the JV soccer team is literally Jess from Gilmore Girls, which I screamed. I really just love this scene because the dad just has no idea what's going on, and it's really funny.
Who are you people?
Zach has his sister give Lainey a makeover, and the scene after the makeover's done, this scene is my favorite part of the movie. So Lainey is walking down the stairs to show off her new look, and she's doing great. She's giving me Latex Velma vibes. She looks amazing. And then she trips on the last step, and the background music just immediately cuts out. This is what I mean when I say she actually plays a realistic awkward girl, because I can literally see myself doing the same thing. Lainey encounters one of her art bullies at the party.
Your name came up, and Sav thought, actually, we both thought that it might be a good idea for you if, you killed yourself. Think about it.
And Lainey finds her very drunk and slumped over on the bathroom floor. She helps her, but then she makes the mistake of saying some more rude shit to Lainey. And Lainey literally creates the best revenge scene ever and makes her into a clown. Also, I didn't even notice this until now, but Lainey actually transformed her into the clown she was painting in class earlier that week, which is just a great detail. Iconic. There's also a Brock Hudson dance scene that goes on for several minutes that I feel was absolutely necessary. I respect the creators for keeping this in. I think it was a good creative decision. Taylor has a problem with Lainey right away. I think it's because they were wearing the same dress. She didn't even see her with Zach, so like why, what else would it be? She basically tells her to get out, and the way Lainey like runs out makes me laugh so much because it's so dramatic. And then she's like, I said I never let you see me cry. but she did.
This is also the scene where I think Zach starts to fall for her for real because you can really see the emotion in Freddie's eyes. Damn, Freddie's a good actor though.
When they get back to school, we get to see the front of the school for the first time. And I was thinking to myself, wow, this really looks like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer school. And I looked it up and it literally is. They filmed at the same place. Taylor then gets broken up with in the same way she dumped Zach, and that is pretty funny.
I mean, it's been fun, but did you honestly think that I was gonna leave for college still dating you? Oh my God, you did. No way. That is so sweet.
Taylor, it's been fun. But did you honestly think I'd leave for All-Star Road Rules still dating you? Oh, you did? That's sweet.
That's a pretty funny line that they use throughout the movie.
Also, Lainey gets nominated for prom queen, and in the span of a half hour after it's announced, this guy has already made a sign for it.
Did I miss something?
All of a sudden, Dean starts expressing interest in Lainey, I guess because she had a makeover and he saw her in a bathing suit, because there's no other basis for it. He just said, oh, I like her now. Screw you, Zach. I'm gonna ruin this for you. Zach goes to see Lainey in her art lair.
And Zach and Lainey almost have their first kiss, but then Lainey mentions prom, and Zach gets nervous and feels guilty, and he runs away.
Zach then has this random dream that is actually cinematic gold. It reminds me of the flashback scene that we see earlier, and it's really clever how they thought to like insert him inside of the reality show that Brock was in. Next up, we get Sarah Michelle Gellar's brief but iconic cameo. Unfortunately, now I have to discuss this next scene, and I don't want to. There's these two boys bullying Lainey's little brother Simon, and one of them puts his pubic hair on a slice of pizza to make Simon eat. No, I'm not making this up. I wish I was. And then Zach comes over to the rescue, and he pulls off the power move of the century and makes both of the bullies eat the pizza. I really can't make this up. Meanwhile, Dean is just obsessed with Lainey now, and this just came out of nowhere.
Did he ask you to the prom? Yes, I did.
But then we finally get the most iconic line of the whole movie. Why am I saying iconic so much?
Is that true? My bet? My bet? Am I a fucking bet?
We finally get to the prom scene. Zach takes his sister, Lainey goes with Dean, but I have no idea who Preston is dating this whole time because earlier at the beach, this girl was in his lap, but he goes to the prom with Gabrielle Union's character. What the heck? Obviously, Dean ends up being a jerk.
I'm this close to closing the deal. She's eating up every word I say.
And Jesse finds out before Lainey does, and Lainey ends up leaving with him because drama. For some reason, Jesse tells Zach that Dean's a jerk before Lainey, which makes no sense because Zach already knew that.
Like, why does Jesse go through all this trouble to find Zach's sister first and tell her, and then Zach, when he could literally just tell Lainey, who's walking in the same direction he's walking towards?
Also, Taylor wins prom queen, not Lainey, so Zach lost the bet. Also, their principal is a legend because he straight up turns off Taylor's mic while she's making a speech.
You did the right thing. As for the rest of you. Okay, what were you thinking?
Then Zach and Lainey make up when Lainey finds out Dean was a jerk, and Zach shows up naked to graduation because he lost the bet. And that's the end of the movie. My overall review is, while it is cheesy at times, I really like this movie because I feel like some of the details and creative decisions put into it were really well thought out. It's also just really funny, and the protagonist is pretty relatable. I would rewatch, and I have many times. Okay, that is it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching, and let me know what video I should make next. Okay, bye!